What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on Miguel Cabrera signed obviously the record extension, and I know it's not hockey, Detroit, the Ilitch family, all that, but looking at it with Crosby leading the league in scoring by 17 points at the moment. I know Getzlaf's the second leading scorer, and he's played 5 less games, but the fact remains he's that far ahead of everyone else. Miguel Cabrera's making $30 million a year. It's the largest contract in the history of baseball. Probably, some European soccer team probably has a record, but you're looking at players that are the best in the league at what they do. Now, baseball's different because you have pitching and you have regular everyday players. Miguel Cabrera's best hitter in the game, no questions asked. But when you're talking about like pitchers, you can go Clayton Kershaw, Verlander, whoever. There's no open debate there. And then with hockey, it's without a doubt Crosby. And with basketball, it's the most clear cut one is basketball. LeBron, whatever way you cut it, he's the best, and there's no one that comes close. And then the NFL goes by different positions. So it's hard to say who the best player in the NFL is because best offensive player, best offensive player, best quarterback, receiver. It's tough because so many different roles. But going back to hockey, if you were to take the cap away from hockey, like they did, I guarantee you someone would throw, 15, 20 million at Crosby, New York Rangers probably, and that's just the way it goes. And you're talking about, the athletes are overpaid, but you look at the amount of money the team owners make off these teams, and they're in the billions. So for an athlete to go out there and make 20, 30 million, I'd never say. Well, here's my thing. Overpay for Miguel Cabrera, overpay for Sidney Crosby. Don't overpay for a mediocre player. This is where teams run into trouble. Paying superstars is never an issue. They deserve what they deserve. It's funny. LeBron's like the ninth highest paid player in the NBA. The highest paid player is Joe Johnson, who makes like $22 million. And one of the ESPN analysts said, if Joe Johnson makes $22 million, LeBron should be getting, $100 million. And likewise with hockey. And I like Ryan Callahan as much as the next guy, but for him to come in and say, he wants $6.5 million a season, that's ridiculous. I love Callie as a player, blood and guts Callahan, but if he's worth $6.5 million. Crosby, Stamkos, those guys, got to be worth 15 or 20. That's just the way it goes. And I'm not knocking anyone for going out and getting paid. I believe in capitalism, but at the same time, I believe in smart capitalism by the owners. This is where I think athletes kind of, it's not even the athletes per se, it's sports on the whole, get a bad rap because overpaying for mediocrity never, ever, ever works out. No one. I mean, you're looking at David Clarkson, perfect example. Very good, good player, not a $5 million a year player, and the Leafs are saddled with that contract for the next 5 years. I got on the list of guys. I mean, even Mike Richards' contract doesn't look great right now. I would never call him a mediocre player. Chris Versteeg's contract with originally the Florida Panthers that they got to eat, and now with Chicago, they're pretty much splitting the baby with that. But Luongo, you weren't overpaying for mediocrity. I mean, you were getting mediocrity in the playoffs, but for the most part, it wasn't like you put, that contract to Cam Ward. Even though Ward's contract is, design. Jordan Staal's a perfect example. Good player, not a $6 million a year player. So the economics of sports goes, give Miguel Cabrera, Sidney Crosby, Stamkos, maybe Ovechkin, all the money you can. They deserve it. What you'll make with team success that follows those guys, the way they make the guys around them better, the way your brand as a team is marketed, kind of offsets the difference. But overpaying for some third liner that that's what Clarkson is. He's a glorified third liner. Bites you worse than overpaying for the superstars. So anyway, that's our next episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.